want to welcome everyone to the Sister Lab. We are your favorite sisters. I am China, aka the China Doll, also known as Little Mildred. And depending on what day, I could be Little Randy. But if you know, you know. Anyway, I'm going to let the ladies go ahead and introduce themselves.
I'm Mia, aka Mimi, aka Mama Mia. No intro needed. I'm good. Everybody know who I am.
I'm Felicia, aka Fee, aka Sunshine, and whatever else.
Be the
Yes.
goat.
Be the
The
goat.
goat. Fee the
Be the
goat.
goat.
Yes. So, welcome everyone back. We are on TikTok and we are on Facebook. Woo!
Yay!
We made it. We made it. We got
Finally.
it. So,
So we're going to go ahead and get started. The topic that we're talking about today is what we call Mommy Dearest, and it is relationships between a mother and the son and the daughter. We're not going to leave anybody out. So we want everybody, the guys and the girls, to go ahead and get in on this conversation. But we're going to talk about Mommy Dearest. We're going to tell y'all what's the, what do we feel about that? Like, we're going to talk about I'm going to start by saying I had watched the video and I didn't even realize that certain things that I thought was normal was not healthy. And when I realized how deep it touched me, I felt this was a very important topic that we need to talk about. So let's get started. So we're going to talk about Mommy Dearest. And we're going to talk about the toxic relationships between a mother and a daughter and a mother and a son. And certain things that people don't realize that you have with your parents could be that they are... Well, first, let me give you a definition. The mother and daughter relationship can manifest in ways including controlling behavior, micromanagement, and a lack of empathy.
Yes.
Yeah. Mothers can be controlling, they can micromanage, they can lack empathy. With the son, the relationship between the mother and son can have a negative impact on the son's development and cognitive abilities and can lead to attachment issues, unhealthy coping mechanisms, and difficulty learning and bonding.
Mama's boys.
Mama's boys. I did not know that. I've never, we seen the movie Mommy Dearest and you seen the toxic relationship between them, but I never thought about the toxic relationship between a mother and a son in that kind of way. We say the mama's boys, but you don't feel the effects of it until you actually start dating a mama's boy.
Mm-hmm. And I hate to, I thought about it today. I hate it for some reason when we were talking about the toxic relationships between the mother and the daughter. For some reason, when I said it about the mothers and the son, the word toxic didn't seem to fit. So earlier today when I was talking about it, I was saying that they have an unhealthy relationship.
Right.
So yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That is true. Unhealthy, right? Controlling behaviors, manipulation, humiliation, invalidation of emotions, passive aggression, disrespect of boundaries, and one-sided relationship.
Because that boundaries thing. Yeah. Parents feel like they don't have to have boundaries. It seems like to me.
Right.
But as adults, we have to set boundaries. And if we don't set boundaries, like I told y'all earlier this week when we were talking, if you don't set boundaries with people, they violate you.
Right.
Explain boundaries, Mia.
Between the mother and the child?
Yes.
I mean, just as adults, you have to set certain boundaries. Like, you know, I'm an adult, so I don't need you to be in this aspect of my life. I don't need my parent involved in my relationship. Or I tend to call my mother with work issues, and it's not the move. Like, when I talk to her about work issues, it's like, why did I call you? That's what I get after having a conversation with her about. So it's just boundaries. And sometimes, you know, we want to vent and we need somebody to talk to when we feel like we should be able to call our parents. Yeah. But sometimes it's not always best to call your parent.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't even have that kind of relationship with that parent.
Exactly. That's why you call them for certain things.
Yeah.
Right. And then it gets to the point where you don't know what that thing is until you've already called them. And, you know, then you try to talk to them and you sit and think to yourself, why did I even bother to call you in the first place?
Right. You know, that's how I am with the whole work thing. Sometimes I'm just like, sometimes I just want to vent and I don't even want to hear your feedback. Just listen.
Yeah.
The parents never want to listen. They always want to give their feedback and they always want to give their input.
They listen to respond.
Right.
And not just listen.
But they also don't see you as an adult, so they still respond to you as if you're a child. So that's like crossing the boundary, of course, but it's like, you know, they don't respect you as an adult yet, so they talk to you and treat you like a child.
How old do I have to be for you to respect me as an adult?
75?
Exactly. Because it's common for them to say, you'll always be my baby. You'll always be my child. So they don't see past the child that they had, and they continue to look at you. Even you can be a grandparent. You can have kids, and your kids having kids, and they still just see you as the child.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But then it's like, you know, raising your kids in our community is fearing your mother. You know what I'm saying? You better not cross that street. You're not gonna cross that street. You know what I'm saying? You're not. Make sure you're home before old school. Make sure you're home before the lights come on. But when I call you, you better answer the phone, or you know what I'm saying? They instill that fear, so it's like they don't know how to disconnect the umbilical cord.
I wouldn't say disconnect. I would say they don't know how to decipher the child from now the adult relationship. Like it stays at, okay, I'm mom, I'm dad, and you the child, versus, okay, you're an adult now, we can talk like two adults, versus mommy, daughter. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, I mean, it's sad to say that a lot of parents, with the unhealthy relationships with their children, are also narcissistic.
So you don't
dare to
tell your parents.
Dare to call your parents narcissist.
Right. Or controlling.
What?
You know, but you know, when over time, when you have that kind of relationship where you like, when you come to your parent and say, hey, you know, this happened to me, this hurt me, or I'm feeling this way, and then they flip it and make it about them.
Guilt tripping.
Gaslighting. But it's like, they always making the situation about them. You know what I'm saying? When sometimes like something that could have happened to you, and you come to them, you could be crying. Hey, oh my God, this happened. And then they'll flip it and say, you know, I'm hurt too. It's like, let me be in my pain for a minute. Let me express this to you, because it builds resentment. Like, over time, when you are constantly calling your parent and you cannot talk to them, it builds that resentment, but it also pulls you away from that parent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Then they wonder why, like, oh, you don't do this with me, you don't do that. But it's like, I can't even be around you because I can't even be myself. Like, I have to, continue to be your child.
About anything.
Argue.
Yeah.
Right. And then, I mean, when you feel like you can't talk to anybody, that also causes like mental health issues.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you start to hold everything in and become depressed or have anxiety or even turn to addiction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes when you look at somebody who had addicted to something, it didn't just come out of anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like
to the root of it.
Right.
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 And a lot of the time, it's usually having to do something with family or the parents or something. Most of the time, something.
Right.
Yeah.
And the root is usually followed by another root. What I'm saying is
Generational.
there you go.
Yeah.
Oh man, the generational curse. I heard this wonderful poem by one of my friends, lovely lady by the name of Jasmine, and it was called Generational Curse. And I hope one day she actually posted or put the video out because it was really good. And hearing her poem, just it was like I knew about the unhealthy relationship, but I couldn't put it to words. And it's you don't realize it's a generational curse because they always say, well, where did they get that from? And you don't realize it comes further back where you gotta look at the relationship that they have with their mother. Yeah,
Way down the line.
Yeah.
Right. But it can also affect your self-esteem and how you talk to people and how you relate to people. Because now you're always going to have that fear, of talking to people and having being vulnerable around them, and they could you think they're going to reject you or they're not going to listen, and it has an effect on your relationship, with your significant other as well. Like, are you going to be able to open up and say, and talk to them and just let your guard down?
That's true.
That's
true. Just toxic patterns of bad parenting skills.
Right. But also, when you're around unhealthy relationships, you tend to attract
unhealthy relationships.
Right? Right? And then
that's true.
One relationship after another relationship, and then you start to see the pattern, but then you never stop to look to say, why do I keep doing that? Like, because now you've become the narcissist, and it's not me, it's them.
Because it's comfortable.
Normalized.
Right.
Behavior. Yeah.
Right. You want to acknowledge at this moment, like, everybody that's coming in here, say hi to the folks real quick? Right. You want to say hi to everybody? Let me see.
Hey, Diamond.
Hi, everybody that's watching.
Hello, and welcome. Oh, my goodness. All right. Hi, everybody. Fahim, how you doing? All right. I see you. All right, brother-in-law Billy. Yeah.
Bill Dunn.
All right. Hi, Harold. Hey, Nick. Hey, Sean. All right. I'm starting to see. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sister Lab. We are your favorite sisters, of course. Nice to see you. Welcome back. We're going back up here. And we're just getting into...
And you could tell them again
Mommy
what we're talking
topic.
about in case... Yep. Mommy Dearest.
It's deep, y'all. It's deep. If you get a chance, and I'm going to post it after this live, because I have to shout them out. I saw the Kevin Samuels video, and I got to talk about this video, because this is when everything really started to hit home. And he was talking to someone on his show, and he asked her, are you, because he was like, can you talk to your mother? She was like, no. Oh my, he was like, are you afraid of your mother? And she paused And she said, oh my God, yes. And he said, is everybody on here? And there's all women on there, of course. And he was like, are you afraid to talk to your mother? Does anybody, And they all started crying.
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't even talk. And he said, that's okay. That's okay. And it got to him so deep that you could tell he was fighting back tears. And he was thinking about his own mother, where he was saying he does not fear his mother, but he reveres her. He respects her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you know how far to take your parent.
Right.
But all the women that were on there had issues with relationships.
With their mother.
And trying to find the right man.
Oh, okay.
But they couldn't even talk to their mother. And he had to he said, I'm not going to put anybody on the camera. And he just let them talk. And I got choked up to the point I had tears coming down because I'm like afraid. Like that's, you hear that. Yeah, no, I'm afraid of my mother. My mother, she tough. But then it's like that fear, there's discipline, there's respect, but then there's disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's taking things too far. And then there's, when you fear talking to your parent or being around your parent because you don't know how they're going to react as a child, when you get to be an adult, you still carry that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then
I know a lot of people are scared of their mothers.
You have a hard time trusting people. You have a hard time communicating with people. You have a hard time being yourself around people. And that's just your everyday life. Imagine living like that and walking around like that where you have all of this, I know they say go to therapy and everything, but you don't even know where to begin.
Right.
And sometimes they tell you take it back to your childhood.
And I know of people who've
I think therapy helps for sure.
How many moms
Black people, I'm talking to my brothers and sisters, it's okay to go see a therapist. It's okay. Okay, now back to the mommy thing. I know mommies who say, well, Jesus is my therapist or God is my therapist. I get it. I understand.
Because how many moms are going to therapy?
Yes. But God also placed those people on this planet to do that job, to be a therapist. That's why they're here. And if we could just break that curse of doing something different down the line, it might be something different.
Well,
that's just my opinion.
The problem with getting the parents to go to therapy is they don't believe that there's a problem. They just think it's parenting.
Right.
Because that's how they were
and
parented.
Say something I was just getting ready to say and say something, and they're like, well, that's the way that I was raised, and
that's the way I was raised.
Look how I turned out. You're a badass parent. That's how you turned out.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Right.
And thing is, like, you look at, there's like so many other avenues also, not only just the toxic behavior, but it becomes there's a relationship between, I don't know, I've heard it, I don't know how true it is, but they usually say it's between the mother and the firstborn daughter. But I've seen it skip the firstborn daughter and go to the secondborn daughter.
Yeah, because I'm secondborn daughter.
The secondborn, right? And
I catch it.
There's even moms who are in competition with their daughters, where they try to literally stop them from getting ahead or doing better, because they feel like they're going to do better than what they're doing. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get
it's a lot of those.
Yeah, like the competition.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jealous of your children.
Jealousy. Right.
Right.
Or still living in that generation versus the generation they're in now, or the season they're in now. Like
try to hang with their kids and try to be the same age as their daughter. You know,
yeah.
You know, they try to act more like their friend, which is nothing wrong with being friends with your mom. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
As adults, you should be, because now you should be past that. Yes, you're still my mom, you're still my dad, but now we're both grown, we're older people, and you know, you still could teach me things in the same token, but we're both adults.
But at the same time, now if you're looking at that parent as your friend and not your parent anymore,
you're crossing boundaries.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah, that's
true. The same boundaries that you set with your friends, you should set those same boundaries with your parents as an adult.
Yeah.
So this, let me just reiterate that. The same boundaries you set with your friends, you should set with
your parents.
Your parent.
A true friend now, I'm not talking about like just a regular associate, but somebody like your best friend. You don't let your friends get involved in your relationship, not to an excessive point. Your parents shouldn't be involved in your relationships. It's just certain boundaries that you set with your friends. You have boundaries you set with them. You have expectations of your friends. So if you're going to look at your parent as a friend now and not your parent, then you have to set those same boundaries.
And vice versa. Because some parents, they're in relationships, possibly. So it should be the same.
Right. Because they want the same respect from, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. They're like, they don't want you in their business.
Right.
With their relationship.
Or some do. I don't prefer, I prefer not to be in it though.
I prefer not to be in my.
You don't let your parent know so much about your relationship. But I mean, of course, if it's an unhealthy relationship, then you set the boundaries and only say certain things because you can't talk to them. But if they have the experience, the parent, and you need somebody to talk to, who would you go to for that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to go to your parent when you haven't, to talk about your relationship, to make sure say if they've been married, your mother and father have been married, or your mother, stepfather, whatever, been married for many, many years, but you have an unhealthy relationship with your parent, and you're now in a relationship. You will want to go to somebody with that wisdom and that knowledge of being in and ask, hey, this, say, something happened, and I need your advice on that.
That's where aunties come in.
I was just getting ready to say, you would like to have that type of relationship with your parents, but it's not always there. So when it's not there, then you have to find someone else to talk to. And that's where, like she said, aunties come. Because when I can't talk to my mother, I'll call my aunt in a heartbeat.
Yeah, same.
Quick.
I've always went to my aunt, so that's
me too.
Nothing. Yes, I've always gone to my aunt, or
my aunt is, and I had, I have quite a few aunts, but
right.
My we used to live right next door to my aunt, so that's like she practically raised me. She's mama number 2.
I was
Shout out Aunt
all the
Cookie.
way across town to go see my aunt.
Everybody needs those. Our parents had them too. Our moms had aunties too. That I'm sure the same thing. Again, we back to repeating.
Girl,
the same thing.
They were just as toxic as my mother.
Right. That's another thing. Like
all of them. Now that I think about it, I just come from a background of toxic women.
Right, toxic women, right. It's like, you go talk to them like, oh, you don't need no man, you don't need it. And then you're like, oh, come on, man. Like, that's not what I wanted to hear.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
But thank God I had a variety of aunts, because there was on my father's side and our father's side, and on my mother's side, where there was always that one aunt who they didn't care about your feelings. They weren't going to hold back. They were going to tell you what it is, like it is, and how it is, whether you like it or not. They don't care. They're going to keep it real. They're going to tell you the truth. And that's just who they are. And I had some aunts that I would go to, and they were raw. Well, I was like, God. Like, I would walk out like, damn, why'd she say that? But later on, I was like, yo, now I get it. Now she was right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I mean, they had they situations too, but they kept it real. Though. So, I mean, one aunt, I would walk across town to go talk to her. From one end of Patterson to the other end, I would walk just to go talk to her and just, get some wisdom, man. Because, even to this day, I still carry that. But, oh, man. Ain't nothing like an auntie. I've always tried to be that auntie. So if my nieces and nephews are watching, that's where I got it from. I hate to tell y'all that I had aunts that just kept it 100 with me. And I always respected them for that, because I felt like I knew no matter what, they were always going to tell me the truth. And I respected that because I had so many other people around me lying. You know what I'm saying? So when you get that truth, it's like, finally, like, why is it so hard for people to, but then you realize it's all ties into the unhealthy behaviors, and, so you just find that one. So I always try to be that one aunt. I'm gonna tell you, but I always just try to be that person. Period. If you don't want to know the truth, do not ask me. If you don't want to,
we know.
Don't ask me. Y'all know.
We know.
No.
So if anybody's watching that I know, she's my older sister. So you see where I kind of get it from too. Because people tell me all the time, like, girl, they know not to call me if they want the truth. I hope one of my best friends is watching.
Sometimes you ain't even gotta call you, and you still get the truth.
I know if I'm doing something stupid, I know I can definitely call y'all too, and you're like, you're not gonna try to sugarcoat and spare my feelings. I don't want that. No.
And that's the crazy thing, because my mother is that way. She's not going to sugarcoat anything for us. She doesn't sugarcoat anything for anybody. She's going to give it to you raw. She's going to give it to you uncut. But I don't need that all the time. I need you to show some empathy. I need empathy sometimes. I don't always need it raw and uncut.
Because that's who you are.
If she did that, wouldn't you kind of look at it like, because if she was empathetic and, and babies your feelings, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
It's not babying my feelings though.
okay. Okay.
All right.
It's just showing empathy because, like, there are certain things at a younger age that that I've done and that any of us have done, and the parents will say, they'll try to tell us and steer us in a different direction. But at the same time, I feel like if you don't things your way, then I don't know. If you don't, it's no lesson learned if you don't do it your own way. Let them go out there and mess up. You know what I'm saying? Let me go out there and mess up.
Well, yeah, because you're gonna do that anyway.
Because you can't. You will not learn any lessons in life if somebody's always there for you, like all the time. I have one of my girlfriends. I tell her that all the time because, she's everybody's safety. She's everybody's safety net, and I'm like, girl, cut them mofos off. Like, cut them off. Let them not have you for a while. Let you not be there for them so they can learn a lesson. They're not learning nothing by you being there every single time.
And that could stem from her relationship with her parent, with her mama, where her mama wasn't there for her. Yeah. And
but like now she's at the point in life now. She's in the relationship with her mother is toxic, but it's the role reversal because now she's taking care of her mama.
Oh. Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And that's gonna happen with everybody.
Oh yeah, for
one
sure.
day.
That's gonna happen.
You know what I'm saying? Which is why, yes, you should try to get the relationship right now.
And the crazy thing about it is, even though they're at their toxic relationship is in the role reversal mode, her mom still tries to control everything. She's still dismissive.
No.
She's still all these bad parent traits.
Right.
But I'm taking care of you, and this is how I get treated.
Right. Right.
The way it usually is.
Right.
But the other sibling
can do no wrong.
Oh my gosh.
They're absolutely perfect. They can do no wrong.
Praises her
right.
for everything she does.
Right.
The shrine.
It's sad. It's sad.
But see, they now when you look at that, right? You got the when you have siblings, and there's the ones that, like you said, the praise and have got the shrine with the lights with their picture and pray to them with the incense and your whole renge, that whole thing, and then you got the other child that they call the black sheep.
That'd be me.
It's just like, nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And then, but if you have a narcissistic parent, they want the admiration. They want that attention. They want, the praise. They want, for you to think they walk on water and, that they can turn water into wine and, all that good stuff. But, and it's the one that they can't control is the one they come after the hardest.
I need to write that down.
Yeah.
The one they
Say it
can't
again.
control.
They will
The
call
one
it defiant.
Can't control is the one they come after the hardest.
The defiant
Wow.
one.
that
And it's not even that that child is defiant. It's just the fact that, you know, like our video with you, because I'm not one of your fans.
Mm. Mm.
come on now. Come on now.
Uh-huh.
Come on now.
You're right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and this is the juicy part. You still deal with these toxic people out of loyalty and fear of being alone, because they have manipulated you into thinking that no one is going to love you as much as they do. No one's going to take care of you the way that they do. No one is ever going to do anything for you. You need this. You need them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So now you know, out of fear and loyalty, you continue to deal with them because, oh, that's my mother. Oh, that's my father. You know? But you never put your health, your mental health, and, you know, your sanity. You have to put that first. Because even you can love them, and you can also love them from a distance. You know what I'm saying? That's like
way over there.
Way over there. Way over there. Like
over
states.
there.
Like states. Maybe even countries.
That's why therapy helps.
And I tell everybody who's in a toxic situation, I literally just had this conversation this morning where I had to tell someone, you're wasting your time trying to change this person to who you think they're supposed to be. They're not going to change. They have been this way since the beginning of the time. And you're wasting your time trying to change them, when the only thing that you can change is how you deal with them. So you have to remove yourself out of that situation, or it's just going to continue. And I said to them, did we not have this conversation 2 years ago? Yeah. Okay. Here it is 2 years later, but now the situation is worse. I told you to get out of it before that. You right. We still talking about it. Do not call me 2 years later with the same situation. Come and just hang up. Because I told you, you have to remove yourself out of that situation. They're toxic. They don't want to change. They like the attention. They like the drama. The drama, the consistently arguing. And I don't understand. That I will never understand. I will never understand just the drama of it all. The arguing of it all. The stress of it all. That has an effect on your mental health, but as well as your physical and your spiritual health.
It's not even worth it.
It's not.
It's not even worth it.
It's not. And when you remove yourself out of that situation and start to have your aha moments and start to, you know, have epiphanies of everything, like you really want to kick yourself in the ass, because it's like, why did I waste my time staying in that situation? And some people like being in it. I know someone who just loves being around his toxic mother. And it is terrible. Where you're like, dude, you don't see what's happening. You know, but they like it. They like it. Out of loyalty and love for his mother, he stays dealing with her. When he tried to remove himself, he was doing so much better. The minute he talked to her, he went right back into it. Right back into that darkness. And you could see it immediately. And I was like, this is going to be your life, your cycle. You're going to keep going back because you feel like you can't put yourself first because that's your mother, because she gave birth to you, because she took care of you. You're going to keep going back to them.
So it's the same thing, kind of like with my friend that I was talking about, but how do you take yourself out of the situation when you're in the role reversal mode now and you're taking care of your parent? I say send them to live with the other siblings and let them deal with it.
I was going to say the same thing. Let somebody else take care of them. But and you know the sad thing is that they know
The sibling that you praise
They just
to the
right. They
highest
just
that can do no wrong.
they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. They're not
Go
gonna
live
do
with
it.
them. Go
They're not
live
gonna
with
do it.
them.
Oh, I can't. Oh, I can't. You know, I got this and that going on. I can't.
The
But
sibling?
the siblings, yeah, they all got an excuse why they can't do it. But
That girl is full of excuses.
and that's crazy because I again had this conversation with somebody else and like, well, what happens when this person gets old? Who's going to take care of them? And I said, the people that they've been taking care of, the people that's been praising them, the people that that stroke their ego. Call them. Don't call me because
That'll never happen.
I mean, I'm not revengeful, but I would put your ass in a hole.
I tell my mom all the time, I'm gonna send you to Shady Pines. No shade.
Not Shady Pines. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm joking with her. You know.
I'll come visit.
You know, and then when you get on my nerves, I'm going home because I need peace. I'm sorry, my peace is, child. Listen, my peace is more important than my sanity because I got to go out here and be in this world. I got kids and grandkids. And
So even saying all of that, what you just said, as a parent, what do you do different to not continue that generational curse? Because that's what I call it.
Right.
So for me, I feel like my mom didn't give us a lot of love. She is so unemotionally attached. I be like, that lady has no feelings. Look, my mom has a name in my family. They call her the Dundada. Like, she is the boss, okay? She runs like, and
Don Corleone, like
okay,
the mafia.
Exactly. And in her younger days, like, she ain't play. Nobody mess with her. So she just has no feelings at all. And I just feel like she didn't tell us that she loved us enough growing up. I can't really remember my mom saying that I love you as a child. I've heard it from her since I've been an adult. But growing up, I never got that. I can't speak for the rest of my siblings, but I never got that as a child growing up. It wasn't like hugs and, just loving on your kids. I never got that. So with my kids, I do it all the time. I make sure that they know that I love them and I'll always have their back. Like we talk, you know what I'm saying? I talk to them about any and everything because I feel like you should be able to do that with your children.
Yes.
I don't want them to fear talking to me about anything. You know, so those are just certain things that I try to do different. You know, it's things that my mom did that I would never do to my children.
Fee, what do you do that's different?
I think I have a pretty good relationship with my son. You know, like Mia said, we talk about pretty much anything, or we talk about what he wants to talk about. He don't really like telling me everything, but for the most part, we have, a relationship, a good relationship.
Yeah. I it's a little different. Well, not even different. I have 3 boys, so now having the girls, it's what my sons. What I try to do is talk to them because for me, I couldn't talk to them. Once I got to a certain age, I couldn't talk to my mother. Like it was just the communication was terrible. I couldn't come talk to her about anything. And I tell my sons, regardless of how you think I'm going to react, regardless if you think I'm going to get mad, if you think I'm not listening, whatever you think, you still can come talk to me. even if you know, whatever it is, come talk to me. Let's sit. Let's have a conversation. We used to go on car rides. We were in a small space, so we had to talk to each other. And then that, you know, that would start the conversations. And then, but you know, with my sons, and then of course me being vulnerable, which was difficult because I had this wall up for so long. But now in front of my kids, I want them to see that I am human. I do hurt. I do have feelings. I do cry because I do not like crying in front of people. So I literally trained myself to stop crying. I literally trained myself I remember as a young kid stopping myself from crying. If I felt like I was going to cry, I figured out a way to not do it. So, you know, even if I'm talking to somebody or if they're crying, I won't do it. But in front of my kids, I'm just vulnerable. If, you know, I'm in pain or if I'm hurt, anything, if I'm happy, it doesn't matter. I keep the lines of communication open and we talk. And we talk. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talk. Now, with the girls, you know, I don't care about your feelings. Can't do that with my girls. Well, they're sensitive. They, you know, the girls. Like, oh God, this squishy.
Please, my son is more sensitive than my daughter.
Yeah, the boys are sensitive, but it's the girls though. I don't know. I'm squishy with the girls, so I gotta soften up. That's tough. I had 3 brothers and I got 3 sons. It's really tough, you know, with the granddaughter to be squishy and she's, you know, rainbows and unicorns and
that's different. She's the grandbaby. That's different.
She's a girl. I'm like, the boys, you know, you can wrestle with them. I can do all those cool things, but the girls, you gotta be careful. You gotta be delicate. You can't say something. So that's something that's new for me. But the boys, I'll hold back, and
I'll try not to be dismissive with my kids, because when they do things, something that they think is that they want me to be proud of, I let them know that I'm proud of them, you know, because I've done things and, you know, thinking that, okay, I'm going to do this and it's going to make my mom proud and she's going to be happy. And she's just like, oh, okay, now what? You know? So, yeah. I let my kids know that I'm proud of them when they do things that they expect me to be proud of.
Little things, like,
yeah, for sure.
When I danced in grammar school, all through high school, my mother has not been to one show. Oh, I gotta work. Okay.
Wow.
But when my kids have something going on at school, I'm there. I'm taking off. I'm there, front row. I'm making all the noise. Like, I want them to know I am here. I support you. I don't pull that, oh, I gotta work. No. Mm-hmm. So it's just like little things like that, you know, that I do. Or even like just celebrating them. You know, just the little things. Like you said, just let them know that I appreciate them. I'm proud of them. You know, we go to dinners. You know, I used to, when they got to teenagers, I told them, I'm not buying you no more toys. You're young men now. So we're going to go to dinner. So I would take them to whatever restaurant they want to go to, and we would go eat. And, you know, or the holidays, I try to get everybody together. You know, now I got the 2 adults, so I can try to get them together. But just, you know, we sit and just talk. Or even I would let them talk, you know, and just and I would listen to their conversations and all that cool stuff. But yeah, just communication. Communication is important.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But I see that. Okay, so TikTok is going to shut down. Let me just show them some love real quick. I want to say hello to everybody in TikTok and thank you for joining us today. we want to leave you with really quick. Want to say to TikTok, you don't have to deal with anybody's toxic or unhealthy behavior because you are related to them, or you're out of loyalty, and you don't have to do it. So you know we're gonna they couldn't, the boss said she couldn't hear Fee, so
Yeah, I saw her.
okay. So if the TikTok cut off, we love y'all. Thank you for coming out. We're gonna continue for a few more minutes on Facebook. So if you can get on Facebook and join the live, that would be great. But we love y'all and thank you for watching us today and being with your favorite sisters. Back to Facebook. Back to Facebook.
Back to the book.
Back to the books. Because we're going to do another 10 more minutes on
Facebook.
Do we
Right?
want to like wrap it up, the conclusion?
Yeah, let's start wrapping.
I'm just gonna say for Facebook and whatever else is going on. Of course, we all didn't grow up with these perfect parents. I don't think there's a such thing as a perfect parent.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
Just to break the cycle of the bad parenting skills and all of that, the areas where our parents lacked, we need to pick up. That's basically it. Just show empathy to your children and be willing to listen, and not only listen, but you need to be able to understand at the same time. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
Fee, closing remarks.
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to say really quick, a little short story that I know about. Basically, if you have a bad relationship with your mom or your dad, do whatever you can do now to make it right. If it calls for therapy, if it calls for just you guys sitting down having a conversation, listen, understand. Like Mia said, have some empathy on both parts. Because again, nobody came with a manual on how to raise your kid. Everybody gets that, you learn as you go. But long story short, I know a woman and her daughter who let a lot of years go by because they were not speaking. And I'm talking like 30 years. Just go by. No mother-daughter relationship, just not speaking, whatever. They both ended up sick in the end. And they were brought back together because they ended up being in the same nursing home together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And that's where they died. But I said all that to say, yes, they had to come together anyway at the end of the day, right? But don't let 30 years, don't let 10 years, don't let 5 years go by and just waste all that time. You're all you got. You're still family at the end of the day.
Right.
So just make it right. That's all I'm saying.
Right. And like I said before, you don't have to stay in a toxic, unhealthy relationship out of loyalty or out of fear. Because fear gets you. If you think you're going to be left out, or you think nobody's going to want to be around you, or people want to talk about you or whatever, or no, you only get one mother, you only get one father, and God forbid something happen. If they are willing to have a relationship with you, like he said, they want to communicate and you guys work it out, great. But if you see every time you talk, they still revert back to the same nonsense, you don't have to stay there. You don't have to be around anybody out of loyalty and fear, or because you're related to them. You don't have to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So remove yourself from that situation and get help.
Yes.
Get help.
Get
There's
help.
nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. I'd rather you get help because you don't want to pass that down to your kids.
The next generation.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah.
But that is our time, ladies.
That is our time. I also want to say to everyone, because I know a lot of people heard about it, I wore this t-shirt specifically because Black Lives Still Matter. We want to lift up the family of Shauna Massey, who was murdered in Chicago by a police officer. I'm tired of pulling out these shirts.
Yeah.
I want to put them to rest. And that's it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't think we'll ever get to the point where we're not pulling out those shirts. Sad to say, but.
Right. Hope everybody is registered to vote.
Yes. Please vote.
Please vote.
Please vote. So
I ain't gonna even get into all of that, but
we're not doing
vote.
that tonight.
No.
No. Another night, perhaps. Not tonight.
No politics.
I don't think I'll have that conversation ever online.
I think we should bring somebody in.
That's like what they tell you at work. You can't discuss politics at work.
Yeah.
This is work for me.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about no politics.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll shut this thing down.
Immediately. Yep. So
thank you, Jeffrey.
Hey,
thank you, everyone, for watching. We started early this time. I know we were ready.
Next week.
We got it. And coming up next week.
Next week is gonna be a treat. I promise.
Are we gonna say the topic? Are we gonna say it?
I don't know if we're gonna say the topic, but next week is gonna be a definite treat.
Yeah.
Not gonna want to miss next week.
It's not gonna be so serious.
It's not gonna be so serious.
We're gonna lighten the mood.
Yeah.
We're gonna lighten the mood.
But
we're gonna lighten the mood and set you in a mood at the same time.
There it is.
Okay.
There it is. Right. You'll be
pleased.
Right. Pleasantly pleased.
I cannot.
Pleasantly pleased. Absolutely.
I cannot.
I am not doing that one.
Nope. We know
I'll just sit back and talk to the that's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one. So we hope y'all join us next week, because oh boy.
Oh
yeah.
Look, like a mad scientist over here. I'm so excited.
I can't.
He can't wait.
Oh my God. Right up my alley.
Right. That is crazy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for us. We're gonna wrap it up. If you have some comments about tonight's show, please send them out to us and share,
Yep.
comment
on all platforms: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts.
Right.
Yep.
Check us out on all of that. All of that. Like, share, comment, all of that. And if you have topics that you would like for us to talk about, send it to us.
Yes.
We're open.
Right.
We're open to talk about it. So let us know.
Right. Please. Last week was good too.
Yep.
We had some good times, so I hope y'all get to watch that too. Go back and watch some of these shows. They were good. Last week was funny. So So this next week,
I think we're gonna have to double back on last time.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, we're gonna double back.
Spend a block on that.
Sip on that.
There's going to be
a block on that.
There has to be. We're going to do a part 2 on last week as well.
We're definitely going to do a part 2 on.
Hilarious.
If y'all missed the topic last week, it was relationships and situationships.
Right.
So yeah, we're gonna have to spin a block on that one.
Right.
Look, Vita said real bad. Don't get her started.
Please don't get her started.
Don't get her started. Oh Lord, my soul can't take it.
That was so odd. And if you watch, and you're gonna love this, if you watched last week, there is a shirt on our page. We have on Teespring. We're gonna post that as well. If you go on our page, our merch is on the Sister Lab page on Instagram or Facebook, and we have a shirt. Real bad.
We
go together.
Yeah, if you watch it, you'll understand where that shirt came from.
Y'all, it didn't come from me. That's all they need to know.
China. It
didn't come from me.
Hey,
look,
it came from me. It came from me. We go together. Real bad. Okay.